Hello, and welcome back to Fluent First Steps. I'm Bella, and I'm really happy you're here with us today because honestly, this is my favorite time of the week when we get to just sit together and talk about real things in simple English.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andy, and I'm also so glad you're listening today. Every time you join us, you get a little closer to understanding real English the way native speakers use it. Thank you for pressing play on this episode. How are you feeling today? Bella?
Thanks, Andy. I'm good, but I've actually been thinking a lot about money lately. I was looking at my bank account this morning, and I just thought to myself, why does it always feel like money just disappears? I earn it, and then somehow it's just gone. And it made me wonder, how do people actually make money these days?
I get that completely. I think almost everyone feels the same way sometimes. It's strange, right? Because we work and save, but it still feels like the money comes and goes without us really noticing. That makes me think about how money works for different people. So maybe today we can really talk about how people make money and all the different ways people do it now.
Yes, I love that idea. Because when I was a kid, I thought making money just meant getting a job. And that's it. Like you find a job, you get paid every month, and that's all. But now I see there are so many ways people earn money.
That's so true. When I was young, I thought only adults made money, and it was always in an office or a shop. But today, even teenagers can make money from their phones or their hobbies. It's really different from how it was before.
That actually surprises me sometimes because last week I saw my neighbor's son. He's only 15, and he makes money by editing videos for people online. And he does it all from his bedroom, like he never leaves the house, except for school.
That's amazing, and it's so common now. What really interests me is that there are traditional ways and new ways at the same time. There's working in a shop or a school, but there's also selling things online, making videos, or even just sharing opinions on social media.
Yes, exactly. And I always wonder, do people really make enough money from these new ways? Or is it just a small side thing for most of them? Sometimes it seems easy, but maybe it's not so simple in real life.
I feel the same way, and sometimes I think it can look easier than it really is. For example, there's a story about my friend Sarah. She started selling handmade candles online during the pandemic, and at first, she made a little money, but she said it took months before she earned enough to really feel secure.
I relate to that because I once tried selling secondhand clothes online, and I was so excited. At the beginning, I made some sales in the first week, but then it got really quiet. I realized there's a lot of work in advertising and talking to buyers. It's not just taking photos and posting them.
Yes, that reminds me, when you see influencers on social media, it looks like they are just having fun and making money. But when I spoke to one of them, he told me it's almost like a full-time job. You have to plan your content, answer messages, work with brands, and always look happy, even if you feel tired.
I can imagine that must be really exhausting sometimes. After hearing stories like that, I sometimes think maybe a regular job is actually more relaxing. At least, what you'll get paid and when you'll get paid.
There's something comfortable about that, isn't there? You finish your work and you'll get your paycheck at the end of the month. But then some people want more freedom or want to do something creative, so they try these other ways to make money.
I think a lot about that balance between safety and freedom. For example, my cousin left her office job to start her own small bakery. She was really scared in the beginning because she didn't know if she could make enough money, but she really wanted to be her own boss.
That's brave. I think starting your own business is probably one of the oldest ways to make money, but it's also one of the most risky. It can feel exciting, but also scary because you don't know what will happen next.
Sometimes I wish I could be that brave, but every time I try something new, I start worrying about what will happen if it doesn't work. Will I lose money or time or just end up feeling disappointed?
I think those feelings are normal, but I also think taking small steps can help. For example, a friend of mine started teaching guitar lessons on weekends while keeping his regular job, and slowly he got more students and more confident. It didn't feel so scary because he still had his main job.
And that's a really smart way to do it. I've also heard of people who have what they call a side hustle. It's like a second job, but usually something they enjoy or something online that lets them earn extra money.
Yes, side hustles are everywhere now. My sister actually walks dogs in the morning before her main job. She started with just one dog, and now she walks 5 dogs every week. She says it's fun and helps her save for trips.
That's amazing, because I always thought you had to choose just one thing, but now it seems like you can mix different ways together. Maybe that's why more people today talk about passive income. Have you heard about that, Andy?
Oh yes, passive income is a big topic. People love the idea of making money while they sleep. I read about it a lot, and usually it means things like renting out a room, selling an online course, or getting paid from books or songs, even when you're not working at that moment.
I like the sound of that, but it also makes me wonder, is it really passive in the beginning, or do you need to work hard first before you can relax and let the money come in?
Most people say it takes a lot of effort at the start. For example, I listened to a podcast where a woman wrote an ebook, and it took her months of writing and planning, but now every time someone buys it, she makes money without doing more work.
That does sound like a dream for many people. But, I still find it hard to imagine a life where you never have to worry about money. I always see news about people making millions, but it feels far away from my own life.
I think most people feel that way. The stories about millionaires are fun to hear, but for most of us, making money is a daily thing. Sometimes a little, sometimes more, but always something to think about.
Yes, and it makes me realize that for some people, making money is not just about the amount, but also about feeling proud of their work. For example, my grandmother, she used to clean houses, and she always said she felt proud to make her own money, even if it wasn't much.
That's beautiful, because I think money also gives us choices and independence, and sometimes even just earning a small amount can make us feel strong and free. It's not always about getting rich.
I agree completely, but I still get a bit nervous when I think about the future. Sometimes I wonder if the jobs we have now will even exist in 10 years. With all this new technology and changes, it's hard to know.
I know what you mean. The world is changing so quickly. Now, there are new jobs that didn't exist when we were kids, like app developers or social media managers. And maybe in 10 years, there will be jobs we can't even imagine yet.
That's true. And sometimes I worry I'll be left behind, but then I remember my neighbor, she's 65, and she started selling her art online last year. She learned everything from YouTube, and now she sells paintings all over the world.
That's really inspiring. It shows that it's never too late to try something new or learn new skills. Making money can be for anyone, no matter your age or where you start.
It really makes me think about how much confidence matters too. Sometimes the hardest part is just believing you can do it. I think a lot of people feel nervous to try something different because they are afraid to fail.
Yes, I think fear is something everyone feels, but maybe the important thing is to keep learning and not give up, even if you fail the first time. Every person I know who makes money in a new way says they failed many times before they found what works.
That makes me feel better because honestly, sometimes I see people online and it looks like everything is easy and perfect. But maybe they are just not showing the hard days or the times when things go wrong.
I'm sure that's true because I once tried making a YouTube channel, and after 1 month, I only had 10 views. It was a little embarrassing, but I learned a lot, and now I know it's not always fast or easy.
Your story makes me smile because it reminds me that trying is more important than getting everything right. I think people forget that every job or business takes time and practice.
Yes, and I also think sometimes people find new ways to make money by just paying attention to what people need. For example, during lockdowns, a lot of people started delivering groceries or making masks because that's what their community needed.
That's a really good point because sometimes I feel stuck and think there are no new ideas left. But actually, every change in life can bring new chances if we pay attention.
It's true, and even small jobs can make a difference. When I was at university, I washed cars for people in my neighborhood. It was not a big thing, but it helped pay for books and lunches.
I love stories like that because they remind me that making money doesn't always have to be big or famous. It can be simple and still important.
Exactly. And sometimes the simplest things work best, like offering to walk someone's dog, or help with computers, or even babysit for friends. These small jobs can add up and help you learn about working and earning.
Now that we're talking about all these different ways, it's really interesting how money is not just about what you do, but also about who you know. Sometimes friends and family can help you find jobs or customers.
That's so true. I remember I got my first job because my aunt knew someone who needed help in a shop. Networking is not just a fancy word for business people. It's actually really helpful for everyone.
That makes me realize another thing. Sometimes people feel shy to ask for help or to talk about money, but really it's just a normal part of life. I wish more people would talk openly about it.
I agree completely. I think the more we share our experiences and ask questions, the easier it becomes to learn new ways to make money and to help each other.
After this conversation, I actually feel a little more hopeful. I thought making money was always hard and complicated. But maybe there are more ways than I realized, and maybe it's okay to try different things.
I feel the same way, and maybe that's the real secret. People who try new things and keep learning often find new chances, even if it's not always fast or perfect.
Yes, and I think for everyone listening today, it's important to remember that every person's path is different. Some people make money with one job, others with many small jobs, and that's okay.
Absolutely. And no matter how you make money or where you start, you can always learn more and try new ideas. And who knows, maybe one day you'll help someone else do the same.
That's a nice thought. I also think making money is not just about what you have, but about what you can give. Sometimes helping others can bring good things back to you in ways you don't expect.
I love that idea. I think if we support each other and share our stories, making money becomes less scary and more about growing together.
I feel really grateful we had this conversation today, and I hope everyone listening feels a little more relaxed and a little more excited about their own journey with money.
Yes, thank you for spending this time with us and listening so carefully. We hope our stories and ideas made you feel comfortable and inspired to think about your own ways to earn and learn.
You're listening to Fluent First Steps, where your ears lead your fluency.
Thank you for letting us be part of your learning today. We can't wait to share more stories and ideas next time.
So keep listening and take each step with us as we all learn together.
Until next time, have a gentle and wonderful day.
Bye, everyone. See you soon.
See you soon, and thank you again for joining us.